What was learned from the last governor's debate? The primary thing that should have been learned is that the Democrats still refuse to hold Gavin Newsom responsible for failed policies and the regression of the state under his leadership. The fact that they won't hold him accountable lets you know that they're still playing politics, and that should disqualify them immediately. Everybody in California knows that California is failing because of failed Democrat policies, overregulation, overtaxing, and money just disappearing. Anybody who can't be blunt and honest about that, you shouldn't want to hear anything else they have to say. Enough is enough. That's all I needed to hear, right? So you had 6 Democrats on stage, and you had one Republican, and you had Steve Hilton, the populist. His words, not mine. But Kara, besides the fact that he wants to keep telling us that his parents were immigrants and all that shit that we really don't care about, that has nothing to do with 2026, his plan for everything is to file bankruptcy. We don't need to file bankruptcy. We need to go find the money that's lost, all the fraudulent money, bring it back, and either give it back to the taxpayers or put it towards programs that need to be fixed. Katie Porter. Michael Porter doesn't want to stop telling us how her van has 180,000 miles on it. Katie says she's not even removing the gas tax. Katie is still focused on us going electric when we don't have the power grid capacity to go electric. California, summertime's coming. Let's take an over and under about how many times we're going to get text messages saying that the power grid is strained and we might have to cut off electricity again. How many times did that happen? But you want to build all electric vehicles. Are you dumb? That was a rhetorical question. We know the answer. They tried to lob her questions all night, and she somehow continued to blow them. This whole debate was set up to give Democrats some momentum and to give Katie Porter a little steam, and none of it worked. Just a whole bunch of over talking, nobody wanting to push back against Gavin Newsom policies, and them standing on the things that got us in this position in the first place. Tom Steyer wants to continue to tell us that he's going to fight the companies that made him rich. Tom wants to fight the oil companies that got him rich. Tom, we don't want to fight the oil companies. Go ask somebody who has an RSO card that they can't use. We don't want to fight the oil companies. We want to fight the gas tax. We don't want to keep buying our fucking oil from China. We don't want to keep hearing about you fighting Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't fuck California up. Yeah. Go fight the Democratic legislation. That's who we want to fight. You want to keep telling us how much money they're spending to fight against you. How about you tell us how much money you've spent on your campaign so far? And it's not working. The longer this draws out, the more steam you lose. And there's a reason for that. You're a liar. Zaragoza. You guys remember Zaragoza used to be the mayor of Los Angeles, right? How'd that work out? Zaragoza is another one who wants to keep telling us how his parents were immigrants and did all this and did that. Again, it's 2026. We don't care. The same shit that was happening way back when your parents were illegal immigrants or came over illegally and then however the hell it happened. We don't care. In 2026, we're mad that our schools are fucked up. Don't tell us how you fixed them. He kept trying to stand on that in LA. Listen, that No Child Left Behind shit that inflated your numbers while our kids got dumber, don't stand on that, bro. See, the people who don't know, but I'm here to let them know. Schools didn't get better, and then y'all let them fuck up the math. Somebody go do your second graders' homework and ask them to subtract 5 from 7 and ask how many steps it takes to do that now. Like, oh man, we're not going to play that game with you. Zaragoza, listen, you're washed, bro. You had your shot. You blew it. We don't care about your immigrant parents. No disrespect to your parents, but it's 2026. Only thing we care about the immigrants right now is getting the dangerous illegals out, and let's fucking move on. Zaragoza. You guys know how much I care about schools. Tony Thurmond is deciding to run for governor. Tony Thurmond oversees all the school shit right now. How's that working out? Tony, I despise you the most of any candidate up there. And it's not because you're a black man. It's because you're fucking our kids up. You've helped fuck our kids up. And you haven't done anything to fix it. You haven't fixed ADA. You haven't fought to get more money sent into the schools. Test scores are fucked up. Teachers don't have control. Administration don't have control. There's pads in the boys' bathrooms. We're fighting to keep girls from playing sports with boys and vice versa. Tony, you ain't got a plan for the kids. How you supposed to have a plan for us adults? Yeah, you beat it, bub. You can get the fuck up out of here. Excuse my French, YouTube, strike me. I ain't big enough to lose no money yet. Yeah, I despise you, bro. And then we get to our 2 Republican candidates. Just because of everything I know and all the research I've done on Steve Hilton, I can't rock with him, bro. And last night, was the perfect example of why I can't rock with Steve Hilton. Steve Hilton spent most of his time repeating what Chad Bianco said, but he delivered it in a more feminine, user-friendly, digestible tone. And it's why see how he's galvanizing a lot of you. He's playing the nice guy. I don't need the nice guy. I want the guy who's going to go in there and say, fuck that, fix it. I can't see Steve Hilton walking in, just worst case scenario. Say we don't get any assembly and we go in there outgunned in the Senate. Our legislators are totally against Steve. Steve doesn't have the testicular fortitude to go in there and fight. People aren't going to take him serious. They're going to laugh at him with his English accent. There's nothing about Steve Hilton that says authority. Nothing about him that says strength. Nothing about him that says fight. My young self would have took his cookies, and Chad Bianco would have had to come get me for doing so. Which brings me to my pick, Chad Bianco. Chad, the more this election goes on, the more I understand why I like Chad. Chad is like me. And Chad said something last night that reminded me so much of myself. He reminded the audience that these people are fucking liars. That's all they do. That's all they've been doing. They lied to you to get your vote. They lied to you after they got your vote. They lied to you about the things that are happening. They lied to you about where the money is. They just lie. They lied to you when they're trying to sell you assembly bills that turn around and bite you in the ass later on because you didn't do your due diligence. But they said it nice. They confused you. They played on your ignorance. Played on the fact that they know that you don't have time to go do your own due diligence. This is why I like Chad. And I understand why a lot of people don't like Chad. Because Chad does speak with authority. Chad speaks with confidence. Chad speaks with a matter of fact. The people who appreciate Chad had dads. And when they got older, they understood why their dad was so strict, so firm. I don't expect anybody who grew up in a single mother household to vote for Chad, because you're used to being talked to, like you're used to having your feelings taken into consideration. The feminine trait that was instilled in you from not growing up but get around enough testosterone and masculinity, it's going to make you not like. But us who have been in positions of leadership, who respect authority, who respects a person who goes out there and stands on his shit, we're going to fuck with Chad. And Chad showed that. Chad told the audience, hey, they're lying to you. The dumbest question ever came up last night. It was a scenario. And the question was, it was a fairy tale shit, just like the Democrats like. Fairy tale fucking scenario. They asked, if we were in a state of emergency or a natural disaster, don't get me to quoting this goofy shit, what would your first 3 things you'd do be? And we got some dumb dudes. I'd say a state of emergency, and I'd gather up all our resources, and I'd have people manning telephones, and I'd have a calm telephone voice on the other line to let you know everything's going to be okay. Chad said, fuck that. What are we talking about here? This is when I knew I loved Chad. Chad said, why aren't we talking about prevention? That right there. God damn it, Chad. Why are we talking about doomsday scenarios when we are in a position to prevent these things from even happening? Now that's logic. That's leadership. That's taking the bull by the horns and saying, shut the fuck up, I'm about to kill you, and then we gonna have steak. That's why Chad's my guy. That's why Chad should be your guy. Other thing I took away from this, not gonna keep you here too long, like, share, follow, it baffles me how all the Democrats decided to keep bringing up Trump. And when the healthcare issue came up, they kept bringing up Trump and how Trump cut funding and all this, right? All right, whatever, cool. But it also helped me contradict their stance on Gavin Newsom, right? See, Gav likes to boast that we're the 4th largest economy in the country or some shit like that. I don't remember the number. But we're one of the largest economies in the country, right? So why are we begging the federal government for money we can fund ourselves? And we shouldn't even be funding it. We can subsidize it ourselves, but we shouldn't be funding it. That's another great point Chad made. That single payer shit, it don't work. Democrats love to depend on the government for everything. It doesn't work. You know what works? It's the thing that the Democrats pretend like they fear the most, but they really embrace because it fills their pockets. You open the market. Capitalism works. If anything, the government should come in and set barriers, soft regulations. You let the prescription companies know, yeah, ain't paying that shit. This is your ceiling. Now compete from here. You open the market and you put guardrails on it. Anything left in control of the government is going to fail. It's going to be fraudulent. Money's going to go missing. Nobody's going to know where it went. But that's my takeaway from the debate. Yep. Still shitting bricks. Hilton's still a snake. And Bianco, still the strongest candidate. And he's only getting stronger. Oh my Johnny, like, share, follow. Leave a comment, man. For real, leave a comment, man. Damn, press the button. Even if you don't press the don't like button. I'd rather you cuss me out, okay? Just cut me out. But for real, leave a comment. Like, don't do nothing but tell the truth here, man. I give it to you raw. I'm not going to talk to you like a politician. It's not what I do. I don't talk like a politician. That's why I'm effective. When I start bringing these other politicians on to talk, I'm going to let them know, hey, you can do all that. I'm going to stop you if you start that politician shit. We're going to break this down like we're breaking it down for a fifth grader. And we might need to bring it a little bit lower because the current superintendent of the state, nobody fucking